Now, Cyclone Biparjoy has already started disrupting life in Gujarat and Maharashtra as it intensified into an extremely severe cyclonic storm. Massive waves seen lashing coasts in Saurashtra and Mumbai as strong winds swept across the regions. At least 5 deaths have been reported from the two states as they prepare to brace for the wrath of Cyclone Biparjoy, which is likely to make landfall, as I mentioned, between Kutch and Pakistan's Karachi in a few hours. What can we expect as the cyclone nears? What areas will be impacted the most? We take a look here. Now, Biparjoy, it is expected to be devastating. The cyclone is expected to cross Saurashtra, as I mentioned, Kutch and between Mandvi. You can see it on the maps here. Near Gujarat's Jakhau port, that you can see here, near Gujarat's Jakhau port, and amid sometime during the evening today. As per the IMD forecast, the extremely severe cyclonic storm, it will sustain wind speed of 120 to 130 kilometers per hour, and it will reach up to 150 kilometers after landfall. However, the wind is likely to reduce by 10 p.m. Now, India is, as well as Pakistan, authorities suspended fishing activities here until the 16th of June. Mandvi in Gujarat will witness high to very high sea levels, while the Jakhau port, that will witness very high seas. Because of the high wind speeds and landfall of the cyclone, the state of Gujarat today will witness very heavy rainfall, while on the 16th, this rainfall will begin spreading towards some other regions of the Indian state of Rajasthan. You can see it on the maps here, Gujarat and then Rajasthan. And on the 17th, the rain will completely take over all of Rajasthan. That will be on the 17th of June. Further, the Indian Weather Department, it also informed that the cyclone is now completely detached from the monsoonal flow and it will not adversely impact the rain-bearing system or its performance here.
In consonance with its firm resolve to mitigate the hardships felt by the population during times of natural disasters, all armed forces, that are the Army, Navy, Air Force and Indian Coast Guard, have prepared themselves to provide assistance to the locals in view of Cyclone Biparjoy in Gujarat. Indian Army has deployed more than 27 relief columns across Gujarat, as well as at the forward locations of Mandvi and Dwarka. Army authorities have also jointly started relief operations along with civil administration as well as with the NDRF teams.
Nearly 75,000 residents living within the coast in Gujarat have been evacuated. Fishing activities have been suspended in India and neighbouring Pakistan until the 16th of June, as I mentioned earlier. As per authorities, residents living within 5 kilometers of the coast were evacuated, and those living within 10 kilometers may also have to move out.
It is going to be very difficult if we lose our homes. We are poor people. We have to do daily wage labor. We are also dependent on our animals. I don't know what will happen next.
In neighbouring Pakistan, auditorium halls and schools, other government buildings were converted into relief camps to provide shelter to displaced people. In the southern districts that only last summer was affected by the devastating floods that displaced thousands, ships and boats have been moved from some areas of Pakistan's coast, while hospitals in the region were put on high alert as well as part of preparations for the cyclone. As of now, over 60,000 residents have been evacuated, and another 40,000 residents, will total to about 100,000, will be evacuated by Thursday morning, as per Pakistan's National Disaster Management Authority.
Our concern is, when the cyclone is over, how will we feed our children? If our boats are gone, if our huts are also gone, we will be languishing with no resources.
Now, as Cyclone Biparjoy approaches the coastal region of Gujarat, 4 ships with humanitarian assistance and disaster relief are on standby. Indian Navy has confirmed this in a statement. The Western Railways also cancelled around 95 trains running through, originating or terminating in Biparjoy affected areas of Gujarat. Now, experts say climate change, that's leading to an increase in cyclones in the Arabian Sea region, making preparations for natural disasters all the more urgent here. Experts further found that the frequency, duration and intensity of cyclones in the Arabian Sea had increased significantly between 1982 and 2019. Now for more on this, our correspondent Disha Shah from Mumbai and our Pakistan Bureau Chief Anas Malik from Islamabad are joining us live. Thank you both for joining us. Disha, my first question to you. The cyclone, as I mentioned, is expected to make landfall in a few hours. It's likely to strike Kutch in India and move towards Pakistan. What can you tell us about its progression so far and the preparations in place?
Well, certainly as per the latest IMD's prediction and forecast, the landfall is likely to hit the state of Gujarat anytime between 4 to 6 p.m. today. It is very close to the Gujarat coastal areas, and especially as per the IMD's prediction, Saurashtra and Kutch are the districts that are likely going to be impacted massively. In fact, there is also a possibility of extensive damage as per the IMD's warnings. The warnings also suggest that how there could be flooding, especially in the low-lying areas. The kacha houses could be damaged extensively because the wind speed could be anywhere between 125 to 130 kilometers per hour. So that is something which the IMD is predicting. And along with these two districts, there are 6 other districts in the state of Gujarat which all where Cyclone Biparjoy is likely to pass. So, of course, the damage could be there on the ground level is what the officials are also expecting. But keeping that alert in mind, keeping the red alert in mind, the preparations have already been done on the ground level. So, as we speak, there are about 18 NDRF teams that have been deployed each in all of these 8 districts that are likely going to be affected with Cyclone Biparjoy. Apart from that, there are going to be 12 SDRF teams as well that are being deployed. There are 115 state road department officials. The rescue teams are there. There are more than 397 electricity department teams as well, because there is also a possibility of power failures as well in the affected districts. So all of the rescue and relief teams are already on standby. In certain locations we are already witnessing, due to heavy high tide and wind speed, there is some sort of property damages as well, which the relief operations is currently taking care of. So at this point in time, this is the current update that we are receiving from IMD. More than 67 to 70 trains have been cancelled as we speak.
Right. Thank you for that, Disha. Going to Anas. Anas, evacuations have been carried out. What can you tell us of the measures again taken to ensure safety of the residents here?
Well, over 100,000 people have been relocated to safety or evacuated from these possibly cyclone-hit areas or in that sphere of the cyclone effect. They have been relocated. We're looking at another 50,000 to 60,000 evacuations as well in the next hour or so. The Pakistani military has been deployed. They're actively taking part in the evacuation operations along with the NDMA, the National Disaster Management Authority. There are about 20 teams of the NDMA that have been deployed. Then you have the Sindh government and their local teams headed by the deputy commissioners and assistant commissioners. They're all also actively involved. So largely speaking, we're expecting the cyclone's impact or the cyclone's landfall on the Pakistani side in the next 2 hours or 3 hours at tops. That's what the Pakistani Met Department, the PMD, has said and has predicted. Rains are already ongoing. Heavy showers in Thatta, Badin, Sajawal, Gidani, Pasni. These 5 areas, they are currently ongoing. We're expecting some impact of the cyclone on the coastal city of Karachi as well. But fortunately enough, because of the trajectory being changed, Karachi is not likely to be affected largely. With that being said, precautionary measures are being taken. The Ministry of Energy and Power, they've deployed their teams as well in order to ensure and prevent any untoward situation that can arise due to the electricity lines that pass through the area. So Pakistan is prepared at their part, and they say that they're also prepared onto the other bit, that is the rehabilitation bit, as in when the landfall of the cyclone is expected, then they've moved towards the rehabilitation bit onto the disaster hit areas.
Right. Right, Anas, well, do stay on with us. Disha, coming back to you now, massive waves, as I mentioned earlier, it's already started disrupting life in Gujarat and Maharashtra. Massive waves seen lashing coasts in Saurashtra and Mumbai. Strong winds swept across the region. At least 5 deaths have been reported. What can you tell us?
Well, certainly as far as the official numbers are concerned, in the state of Gujarat, the official figure stands at about 4, because of the heavy, wind speed and high tide. 4 people have lost their lives. And as far as Mumbai is concerned, we have seen 5 young boys getting drowned at Juhu Beach earlier this week because of the, high wave. So overall, if you talk about the official numbers, it goes to 9 in terms of all totality, if you talk about. But definitely the rescue and relief operations, if you talk about in the state of Gujarat, is going on as we speak, because Mumbai we have not seen any sort of impact or effect apart from the heavy high tide that we are looking, that we saw even today. But in terms of Gujarat as well, over 75,000 people have been evacuated within the 10 kilometers of the coastal districts, which are likely going to be impacted with Cyclone Biparjoy. So there is minimum, there is no loss of life at all, and there is minimum destruction to the properties is what the Gujarat government officials are really estimating. But so far, 4 are the official figures that we are learning that have, reported loss as far as in the state of Gujarat is concerned.
All right, well, Disha, thank you so much for clarifying that. Anna, same question to you. What is the situation on ground currently? What's the latest advisory?
Well, as we speak, we've seen high tides across the coastal belt of Karachi, the Hawke's Bay beach. We've heard that the water is being splashing and being spilled over to the roads. Fortunately enough, the authorities acted in time and they had put a ban on the public going towards or nearer to these beaches. Section 144 had also been imposed in the particular area. So for now, what we're looking at is the impact in terms of the spell, the water spell. But fortunately enough, no loss of life, though there is a possible hint or a possible fear of loss of property as a result of the ongoing situation that is developing. But with that, it is currently being very closely being monitored. 17 different structures and models are being used to monitor this, alongside the SOPARCO, the Pakistani authority that looks after such or does such predictions. The PMD, the Pakistani Met Department, is also monitoring, and we've got teams on the ground. So largely speaking, there are preventive measures that are already in place, that are put way in place in order to ensure that there is no loss of life that can possibly arise due to this cyclone. Right.
Well, Disha and Anas, thank you so much for getting us up to speed with the situation on ground. We will, of course, continue to track the developments closely with you too.
WION is now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.